like us on Facebook.
Are you on Facebook or Twitter?
At facebook.com/offthebeatenpath.
Twitter.
And follow us on Twitter at OTBP Podcast. Off the Beaten Path Podcast with me, Ben Merritt. And again, my goal of this entire show is to introduce as many people as possible to as many new artists as possible. And the best way to do that is to chat with them live and on the phone. I got a brand new artist, Josey Milner, on the line. Josey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing spectacular, Josey. And sounded like you got some pretty rough weather over the last few days, and that kind of delayed our talk. But, hey, that's fine. We're still talking, and that's the most important part.
Well, definitely.
All right. Well, Josey, I like to start every interview with 2 icebreaker questions, and I didn't prep you for this, so this is going to be, like, literally off the top of your head. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here it is. They're really easy. They're just kind of fun, get everybody in the good mood. So, all right. Question number 1, where are you right now?
Right now, I am in my house, in my room, on my bed.
It's almost like Google Maps if it went indoors, but...
Very easily, yes.
All right, and question number 2 is, seeing how we all know that everyone, let alone teenage girls, can do 2 things while they're on the phone, what else are you doing besides talking to me right now?
I was messing around on my iPad. So, you caught me.
See, I knew it. Every person can do at least 2 things while they're on the phone. And again, it's been kind of fun. I had one guy call me and he said that he was plumbing. He was doing some plumbing work.
Yeah.
So far, that's the most extreme version. So therefore, as long as that is still the most extreme, I'm going to keep bringing that up. So.
Yeah, I'd say that's some talent right there.
By the way, if you were wondering, that's Uncle Snap of the Lax, in case you wanted to, maybe get some tips on maybe doing some indoor plumbing while you're on the phone. So
I might have to. It might be a new talent I have to look into.
Just in case the singing thing doesn't work out. But actually, in case the singing thing doesn't work out, you have another talent that you can fall back on. It's kind of an awesome talent as well. You're a barrel rider, aren't you?
I am, yes. I grew up doing rodeo. I actually did it for 8 years before I got into my music. So, yes, my rodeo, I like to say that's my other passion that I began with.
And for a while there, that was the big passion. That was the one that you were planning on, going be famous for, right?
It was. It definitely was. Yeah, I mean, I was going to rodeos pretty much every weekend, and I was in the arena 2 or 3 times at the same rodeo, and I loved doing it. It's something that's kind of like being on stage. It was just a joy to be in the arena and to know that people were watching me, and I was fairly good at it too. I have 12 belt buckles to my name, and
wow.
I almost had 2 saddles, but unfortunately things didn't work out.
No.
So yeah.
What's the difference between a belt buckle and a saddle?
The saddle is where you get the pretty much number 1 spot in your event or your division, because there's a peewee, juniors, and seniors, and I almost have a saddle twice, and I got beat out by it. It's only by a few points,
oh.
Too, but it was heartbreaking, but it's okay.
It's all right.
I got through it.
Yeah, I guess this is a better thing to fall back on, and it kind of just came from you were doing the Star Spangled Banner and you were doing the national anthem at the rodeos before, weren't you?
Yes. Any chance I got to sing the national anthem, I definitely would. And it was almost getting to the point to where people didn't have someone, so they'd send someone out to find me and say, hey, come sing this real quick. And so, I had to run up there, and I had to have someone hold my horse and to run up there and sing the national anthem. And since I done, I had to run back down and jump on my horse and pretty much go in the arena after that.
Do you think that they weren't booking someone to sing the national anthem because they knew you were coming?
I don't even know. It was pretty cool, though. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty cool.
Now, what kind of made you realize that was it? That's what you wanted to switch from rodeo to singing? Like, what was the thing, other than singing the national anthem? Was it, did you get in touch with someone that said, hey, you could probably do this for a living?
That's pretty much what ended up happening. I actually had the chance to sing at the National Steel Guitar Convention in St. Louis. It's about 2.5 years ago now. It's kind of crazy to think how time flies. But, I was down there, and I was able to sing on the main stage down there. And so I thought it was pretty crazy for me to be on my horse and go to the stage. And, after I was done, I was having so many people coming up to me and talking about the talent I had and the potential I had. And it was actually Leona Williams, who is, of course, a steel guitar player, and she's actually from Missouri as well. And she was there, and she's the one who actually came up to me and told me that I had a lot of potential. I need to think about the singing seriously. And so, at that point in time, to have someone of her status tell me something like that definitely flipped the switch on for me. So when I got home, I was talking to my parents about it, and they definitely agreed with it and got on board with it. And I started singing, started going to the studio and got a band together and started playing out. And I never wanted to let it go, so it just kept going from there.
Well, hey, if it grows from the fun and the passionate side of it, that's a lot better than some stories that you hear where it's like, no, you must do this because you've got talent. You have to do this. No, I'm glad that it was kind of like a second passion, and it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Whenever I was first born, actually, my dad saw me. He's like, "Yep, they're my barrel racing legs." And so, with my barrel racing, and then whenever I was 3, I told my parents that they would hear me on the radio someday. And so now they're hearing me on the radio. So hey, maybe I can just tell my own future.
Yeah, you're pretty clairvoyant. Yeah, you've got the talent there too. Well, Josey, again, it kind of grew and grew and grew, and all of a sudden you're singing, she's a big leading lady in Nashville now. You did your very own rendition of Dead Flowers for Miss Miranda Lambert. How did that happen?
Oh my gosh, Dead Flowers was a song I pretty much heard over the radio as soon as it came out, and I love Miranda Lambert as is, and I pretty much loved every song that she's put out, but it was, for some reason, it was just Dead Flowers that stuck with me, and if I was at home, I'd always be humming it or singing it or something to do with that song, and I kind of decided, like, hey, let's just go to the studio just to do the song for fun, just so I can have it with me. And, as soon as I got it done, we put it up on my Facebook, and people loved it. And so, it just kind of took off from there. And it was played over in Belgium and Japan and Australia. And, it just kind of went crazy. I definitely wasn't expecting it to do as good as it did.
Yeah, international success of a tune that you were just kind of having fun with. Again, Josey, I think you're touched. I think there's something special about you, obviously.
I'm hoping so. I really am.
Yeah, it's so far so good. And how about this, Josey? We're going to take a quick break. We'll listen to your version of Dead Flowers, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about, you've got a big anti-bullying campaign with your new single out, okay? We'll talk about that in just a little bit, all right?
Sounds good.
I feel like flowers in this vase. He just brought them home one day. Ain't they beautiful, he said. They've been here in the kitchen and the water's turning gray. They're sitting in a vase, but now they're dead. Dead flowers. I feel like this long string of lights, they lit up our whole house on Christmas Day.
There you go. That is the very young, very talented Josey Milner with her version of Dead Flowers for Miss Miranda Lambert. And I've got Josey on the line. Josey, how are you doing?
I'm still doing good. I'm doing good.
I say that to everybody just because it's the only way I know how to come back from saying something like that. So
it's a good conversation starter. So
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Josey, how you doing? And I'm doing crummy now that you bring it up. Yeah, thanks.
Now you got to say it again.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Now, Josey, we talked earlier about the fact that you had big international success with that cover of Dead Flowers. And again, you've got your own single coming out as well, and we'll talk about that one in just a bit. But how are you able to handle this and rodeo and getting into the studio? By the way, I like rhyming those, by the way. That's kind of fun. Studio and rodeo and radio. Hey. Anyway.
Yeah, I like it.
How are you doing all this while you're still in high school? You were just telling me that you just finished up finals. How did you find time to study?
I honestly couldn't even tell you how I'm struggling at all. It just all seems to work out in the end. And, most of the time, if we're on the way to band rehearsal or on the way to do something with my music in the car, I'll work on homework or study if necessary. And, I just always find time here and there to get my work done. And most of the time, I actually even have my homework done before I even leave school. So that really helps me out. So for me, it's kind of being responsible, I guess you could say, to get stuff done right before the due date.
Yeah, no hanging out in the parking lots with all your friends, during study period or free period with you. It's pretty much actually study and doing all your things at school. That's kind of intense.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense at times, and there's been a couple times where I'm just like, I don't know how